C.R.P.H.A, conservative Republican People's Humanitarian Advocate for the U.S. of A. And as I posted on our Facebook page of C.R.P.H.A, I am now going to start by, on this video here, start off by calling for Jerry Brown's impeachment. So Jerry Brown is to be impeached. He doesn't care what happens to the state. He doesn't care what happens to the American people within the state of California. He is still vengeful against our current president for no logical reason. He is not being very professional as a governor. He is still trying to implement the part where every part of California is sectioned off like its own country, which basically is against the Constitution, and he still wants the sanctuary city thing and the sanctuary state thing. I am going to say that Jerry Brown, you are to be impeached. Jerry Brown, you cannot separate this state into its own country where you section off various parts of the state. It's against the Constitution, and you are already being known in the California's history as the unconstitutional, uncaring, and illogical, unrealistic governor in the state of California's history. So I oppose the sectioning off the state of California into separate sections as if it's its own country, which basically is unconstitutional. It's been unconstitutional, regardless of what Jerry Brown tries to say. The sanctuary state thing is unconstitutional. The sanctuary city thing is unconstitutional. So, and also, Jerry Brown's apparently refusing to take down the high tax plan. He obviously doesn't care if the citizens of California work at all, especially the ones that are still looking for employment. Because if he did, the high tax plan would not be in effect. And if he really cared about our youth, then he wouldn't have changed the Prop 39 as he did years ago by using a legislative loophole to change it to his high tax plan, for his high tax plan to pass, while everybody thought that Prop 39 was officially and still as the California schools education funding proposition, which basically without anybody realizing, except for yours truly, that Jerry Brown changed it by using a legislative loophole to change Prop 39 from the California school funding proposition to his high tax plan. So therefore, that right there is unprofessional and illogical of a governor to do that. And seeing that Jerry Brown is using his personal vengeance against our current president when he's not supposed to do that, if he wants to remain governor, he is to be impeached. No governor can use their personal vendetta or feelings against a president if they want to be still in the governor's seat of any state. Doesn't matter who it is and what party they're a part of, you need to still follow the U.S. president, the commander-in-chief's words, orders, and follow his every word, even if you do not agree with him. And if the governor of every state, including California, refuses to and still wants to have a personal vendetta, vengeance against the president, then the governor should be impeached or officially step down right now. But seeing that Jerry Brown's been non-compliant and showing that he doesn't care if about the homeless population in the state of California, he doesn't care about the people who are on low and fixed incomes in the state of California. He doesn't give a damn about our youth in the state of California. He doesn't give a damn about if people are trying to make an honest, stable living in the state of California. And he doesn't care if jobs come in the state or not, in the state of California or not, essentially. So therefore, Jerry Brown, even under the state California Constitution and the U.S. Constitution, you are to be impeached. Jerry Brown, I am calling for your impeachment. The state legislator, I'm calling for Jerry Brown to be impeached. All of the things that he's done has shown that he doesn't care how much he spends, to where practically bankrupts the state and puts the state in red financially and budget wise, and he doesn't care if the citizens of the state work or not. Therefore, no company wants to come back into the state of California because of the high tax plan, and that's the reason why the corporate office of Carl's Jr. and Jack in the Box went over to Texas, because even though it wasn't officially law at that point, but they acted as if it was. Therefore, they calculated pretty accurately, and before it became into law, that they relocated into Texas. And many other states have been going belly up because of the high tax plan. And Jerry Brown doesn't give a damn about that at all. And I know Daryl Steinberg will probably say, yeah, yes, he does. Daryl Steinberg is the liberal kiss ass. He'll do anything and say anything to protect and defend his party. So again, California state legislator, California state constitution states, and even the U.S. Constitution states that any governor in any state that tries to go unconstitutional and against even against the state's own constitution, and against the safety and well-being of the citizens of the state, starting with California, then the governor of this state, being in this case Jerry Brown, the California state governor currently, needs to be impeached, or he needs to be forcibly to step down. And someone needs to take his place, because obviously Jerry Brown is becoming a senile, uncaring, illogical, unprofessional jackass of a governor. No governor, not. I mean, let's see, great is, and maybe let's see, Arnold Schwarzenegger and possibly a number of others, even before Reagan and Pete Wilson. They probably had certain disagreements against our presidents at that in their timeline. But the basic fact is, they knew better not to use their personal vendetta and vengeance by going against the Constitution, like Jerry Brown is attempting continuously, and by using a personal vendetta and vengeance against our current president, when he's not supposed to do that if he wants to be in the governor's seat in the state of California. So the state legislator and the state senators, and it doesn't matter what party you're in, you still need to make sure that Jerry Brown is either impeached or that he is forced to step down. Because if he doesn't, I will take action above your heads. As an advocate and as a citizen of this country and of this state, I can and I will. I care about my home. I care about California and its citizens and its youth a lot more than I care about the damn politicians in the state of California. Because the politicians in the state of California are not very logical anyway. If they want to back the high tax plan, they're illogical. If they want to back the sanctuary state thing, they're illogical and unconstitutional. We should not have any unconstitutional following type senators, and we should not have any unconstitutional following governors and anybody else in the political seats at all. It doesn't matter what state you're in, you should still follow the Constitution to the letter. That means do not try to go against the Constitution by turning your state and cities into a sanctuary type city and or state. Do not try to section your state off into little sections as if it's its own country, which is basically, again, unconstitutional. Do not advertise one proposition as a school funding, the state school funding proposition, and then turn your back on the state's youth and its citizens by trying to use a legislative loophole and change it to your high tax plan or whatever plan that goes against and what is unpopular and what has been said to be unpopular, like the high tax plan was said to be unpopular before Jerry Brown did that to Prop 39, years before he did that to Prop 39. So Jerry Brown needs to be impeached because I am not going to have a governor in my state to continuously think that he can still be seen now as a fucking dumbass and illogical and try and act like he cares and try to voice that he cares when he doesn't give a damn about the state, when he doesn't give a damn about the citizens in the state of California. He only wants things to benefit him and his party, being the liberal jackass party. Democratic Party essentially is stupid anyway. The Democratic Party was a lot more intelligent during the JFK days. They've gotten stupider with the liberal faction. And be that the liberal connection, they've gotten stupider. So therefore, Jerry Brown, you are to be impeached. And C.R.P.H.A. is calling for Jerry Brown to be impeached right away. No questions, no hesitations, no conflicts, no holdbacks, no nada. He is going against the Constitution, even the state's Constitution, and he's not benefiting the state of California and its citizens and the people who have lived here in all their lives like I have in any way positive at all. So Jerry Brown needs to be either forcibly to step down or get his ass impeached. We don't need a governor who thinks he knows what he's doing and thinks he knows what's best for the state of California and its citizens when he can care less logically. I don't call a governor who puts a high tax plan in place, even though everybody said it was unconstitutional. It was basically unpopular, essentially, even after he had first announced it. But he doesn't care about that, now does he? It shows by the fact that he used the California school funding proposition Prop 39 by changing it to the California school funding to his high tax plan to pass, because he saw that Prop 39 was about to pass under the California school funding proposition and legislation. He didn't want that. Obviously he doesn't give a damn about our youth's education. So guess what, Jerry Brown? You are going to be impeached. I am calling for your impeachment as an advocate, and you will be impeached. and every state legislator, every state senator, every state mayor better, every part of the state of California's mayor better make sure it happens. And the city mayor of Frisco better change the standing of Frisco from sanctuary to a regular city, or he will be disbarred and impeached as well. As I said in one of my videos, I would call for Jerry Brown's impeachment, and that is this video. So again, I'm calling for his impeachment right here, right now, today, April 13th, 2018. As I said, I would. I didn't say the date exactly, of course, granted, yes, but I said sometime in April, didn't I? I kept my word on that. So Jerry Brown is to be impeached. C.R.P.H.A, conservative Republican People's Humanitarian Advocate, is calling for Jerry Brown to be impeached or forcibly step down, and the mayor of San Francisco is to either take down the sanctuary status, which is unconstitutional, and keep San Francisco as a regular city, or get disbarred and impeached, or forcibly step down. C.R.P.H.A cares about the state of California youth and the citizens, all of the legal citizens. The ones that have been coming in here illegally is not logical, and it's unconstitutional as well. You want to come in here legally, you need to go through the right channels. You don't go over the walls, you don't cross the border, you don't do nothing like that. I care about every human being on this planet, but you need to do things within the law. And if you do things within the illegal aspect, you're not going to get any respect or help from anybody, not even an advocate. But of course, the liberal advocates might help you. I'm not a liberal advocate. I'm a humanitarian advocate, granted, yes, but I follow the law. And those who don't follow the law, I will make sure you pay for it. Even if you are in prison for several months, if not a number of years. And I support Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, on the action of making sure our troops protect our border while the walls are being while the wall is being built. And Jerry Brown thinks that that our troops on the California side is gonna help build the damn thing. All they're doing, Jerry Brown, is making sure no idiot from 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 on the other side of the border comes across to this side of the border when basically that's the whole idea of the wall, to make sure no illegal person comes in to the West Coast illegally. And if you can't handle that, then guess what, Jerry Brown? That's another reason why you should be off the out of the governor's seat. You don't give a damn about the state and its citizens as it is already. You don't care about the youth by what you do with Prop 39. So guess what, dumbass? And you don't give a damn if people are, if the citizens, being the adults and the parents of the said youth, work or not to make a living, a better and stable living, in the sense of having a job, because many single parents are still unemployed and still looking for a job. And the ones that want to start a family are still looking for a job, but you don't care about that, now do you, Jerry Brown? Because if you did, then you would keep the high tax pen off the fucking table, and you wouldn't have made it. You wouldn't have done what you did with Prop 39, you would have had it to where Prop 39 passed as a California school education funding for our youth, as you advertise with a number of our youth on the same stinking commercial, but you went ahead and went behind the citizens' backs, thinking that you know what's best, and you don't think the citizens know what's best. Obviously, you're not the fucking God Almighty, you old piece of shit, Jerry Brown. So either you either step down or you will be impeached, because you obviously don't give a damn about the state. You don't care if you bankrupt the state. You don't care if you make the state go into the financial red aspect, and especially with the budget, especially when it comes to stupid high tax. The fucking high tax plan situation, and also when it comes to the speed train, you don't care how much the state has to spend. You don't care if it even nearly bankrupt the state of California. So therefore, seeing that in Jerry Brown, you're going, see now, you need to step down or get impeached. More than 100%. And if it's not done within the next month to 2 months, and if I keep on seeing illogical actions from you, Jerry Brown, you will see the actions I can take within the Constitution of this country and within the state. I can have it to where you are forcibly step down and forcibly removed. It doesn't matter how many fucking Democratic idiots are in the state of California, it can still be done. Any governor, any mayor that's a liberal asshole following the unconstitutional practices and continuously trying to push for the unconstitutional movements and practices will be impeached, and they will be disbarred, and I will more than make damn sure of it. And that's not a threat either. That's a goddamn promise. I care about California and the US of A way more than you realize, Jerry Brown. Way more than fucking Daryl fucking Steinberg realizes. Way more than even Obama realizes. Way more than fucking Hillary fucking Rodham Clinton realizes. And yet liberals want to act like you care about the state of California, like you care about the fucking country. You don't give a damn about the country. All you want is control, money, and power. That's all the liberals care about. The liberal Democrats care about is money, power, and control. They don't care about the American people. They don't care about the citizens of every state. They don't care about the youth in this country and in every state. All they want is to have their objective passed to where it completely destroys this country. They don't care. They never really cared about this country ever. Not even when Bill Clinton was in office, they never really cared about this country. The Liberal Democratic Party has been more than corrupt and illogical in every action that they try to fucking get away with, especially the ones that are unconstitutional. And I'm not going to allow that to happen. So guess what, Jerry Brown? You either step down or get impeached. Because you haven't shown any positive actions whatsoever fucking ever. And I believe me, I've been watching you like I said I would. So either voluntarily step down, Jerry Brown, or get forcibly removed. And the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, will and can, by the Constitution of this country, can remove you. And I will make it an effort to make sure that he does. Because you cannot use any personal vendetta against him, no matter what, even if you do or do not agree with him. Yeah, you can disagree with him all you want. He doesn't care. But the basic fact is, you don't go against the Constitution. You don't try to turn this state into. You don't try to You don't try to turn California into a sanctuary state. You don't try to separate every section of the state of California as if it's its own country. Those two actions are unconstitutional. If you really cared about the youth of the state of California, you would have left Prop 39 as the California school education funding, but you didn't, now did you? And if you really cared about the citizens that are also looking for work and a cheaper place to live, let's see, you would not have put the high tax plan into place the way you did, especially. You would have forced the fucking contractors and realty idiots to fucking make sure that they build low income, low cost, and earthquake safe apartments. But you didn't do that now either, did you? Instead, you've attempted to do things that are unconstitutional and illogical and non-professional. And I know I've named them several times on this video so far. So I'm going to ask every citizen in the state of California to help C.R.P.H.A. and back C.R.P.H.A. and do your part in making sure that Jerry Brown is impeached. Even if you do a petition, it has to be more than 1,000 signatures, I'm sure. And also make sure that Jerry Brown does not get away with separating section of the state of California as if it's its own country, because that's again unconstitutional, and we need to get the sanctuary state and city thing taken down as well. Because if it isn't, the thing I can do, even by California constitutional standards and by the United States constitutional standards, I can and I will go over Jerry Brown's head and make sure that he's removed forcibly. If you guys have any questions or if you want me to advocate on anything, I will. But of course, at the same time, I will advocate on. I will do a business C.R.P.H.A. business advocate video at some point. Thank you. Have a good day, and may Heavenly Father bless you all.